Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Walker lines up on pole position, and a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Leclerc, Russell, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Verstappen, and let's talk about Walker.
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? And let's see who's able to keep their tyres in that temperature sweet spot early on. You've got a great tyre warmer underneath your right foot, and the drivers need to make the most of that on the formation lap, lest they see themselves skating wide at turn 1 on cold rubber.
Okay, we've got that relief of having points on the board finally, so let's keep that form up and get another top 10 finish today, please. DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done. Okay, push, push. Gap to the car behind. 1.8 seconds. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Yet another historic win under their belts. Well done to the whole team at Mercedes. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. That's a positive result for George Russell.
You're not currently in a rivalry. Sooner or later, you'll probably be asked by the media who you consider to be your rival. Think carefully who you select, as while you will receive acclaim for beating them, you'll lose acclaim if you fail to do so.
Thanks for stepping in and helping handle that.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who'll be fronting the grid. Sainz, Russell and Lando Norris. Well, once upon a time, this used to be the season opener before it fell victim to a pandemic reshuffling. But now Albert Park is back at the heart of the F1 calendar, so welcome to... Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid...
Well, the regulations aren't new anymore.
After the points finished... Russell has just put up the fastest lap of the race so far. Okay, back to the pits. You need a new front wing. Box now. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good. Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please. Okay, we've lost the position. That's us down a place. Okay, good work. Great pass. Fantastic drive, that's just fantastic, amazing, you deserve that race win. Well done, mate.
Another superb Australian Grand Prix comes to an end then, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, they are very much at one with the car, which is a cliche, but it's true. It's not an easy process, and that work is very much paying off.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. Well, not the result our points leader would have wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. So let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Natalie Pinkham, come on, who do you pick?
I have to give it to Walker.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, a strong week.
Thanks for handling that.